even the maybe I may not be able to read the purport of many of these verses. Maybe here and there we can read the purport of Prabhupada's verse, Prabhupada's explanation also. For the first verse alone, we will quickly read the verse and translation, and let's see how we can proceed. Okay, so first verse is a question from Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Sri Yudhishthira Uvacha Grihastha etam padavim vidina yena cha anjasa yayat deva rishi bruhi madrishe griham mudadi. Translation: Maharaj Yudhishthira inquired from Narada Muni, O my Lord, O great sage, kindly explain how we who are staying at home without knowledge of the goal of life may also easily attain liberation according to the instructions of the Vedas. Right, so here we can see that Maharaj Yudhishthira is asking a question to Narada Muni on how can a grahastha, a person who is leading a grahastha life, because in the grahastha ashram we all know it is so complex, it is not an easy life for anybody to actually live in, because as long as a person was there before marriage, he had very happy living, both husband and wife. They had, their life was completely different. When two people were brought together, so many frictions happens, and both of them gets completely unsettled. Though outside people talk about settling them by marriage, their life really becomes unsettled at the time of marriage, and they don't get time at all to do many things. They are so carried away, engaged in doing so many things, and they don't have times for spiritual advancement. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is actually asking how such kind of people can actually also progress in Krishna consciousness. How can they achieve success in their life? So it's a very practical question that Yudhishthira Maharaj is actually asking Narada Muni here, putting all of us, taking all of us as an example. Narada Muni is being questioned here. And let's see what Narada Muni actually says. He gives some series of instructions, so we can go through few of them by reading the translation of these verses. Okay, so Narada Muni, the verse 2, Narada Muni actually responds back. It says, My dear king, those who stay at home as householder must act to earn their livelihood, and instead of trying to enjoy the results of their work themselves, they should offer these results to Krishna, Vasudeva. How to satisfy Vasudeva in this life can be perfectly understood through the association of great devotees of Lord. So first thing that Narada Muni is saying here is to offer things to Krishna. That's the first thing, right? Whatever we have, that's what Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Yat karosi, yat jihosi, yat tadasi tadosi, yat jihosi tadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurutvam adarpanam. So Krishna talks about doing everything for Krishna, for the Lord, right? That is something that every grahastha needs to actually put things in practice. That's how Prabhupada actually is encouraging devotees to actually do have a picture of the Lord or a deity of the Lord at home, and then do everything as a service to the Lord. And know that the home is a home of the Lord, and we are all actually residing in Lord's home, and we do service for the Lord in staying inside Lord's home, and we engage ourselves in a Krishna conscious way by chanting Hare Krishna, singing Kirtan, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, offering Bhoga to the Lord, and accepting Prasadam. So this is the way that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has actually told. Even when he instructed Kurma Brahmana, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not he didn't want Kurma Brahmana to give up his home and then come. Yare dekhe tahari. Whatever status a person may be, grihe tako, vane tako, sadahari bole tako. That's the teaching that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually gave. Whether you may be a grahastha or anybody else, doesn't matter. Sada Hari Bole Tako. Keep chanting the names of the Lord. So a grihastha, especially, they needs to do everything for Krishna. Then things actually becomes more peaceful at home. If a person actually starts doing it for himself, then more and more fight and quarrel actually comes within the family. But when things are done for Krishna's sake, then it is actually a much peaceful situation can be seen at home. So that is why in a Grihastha ashram, as Narada Muni has insisted here, saying that the results should be offered to Krishna. So when results are offered to Krishna, Vasudeva, then family life is not a big, what do you call, a uh, burden or a bondage or a troublesome thing in a person's spiritual journey. So first thing that Narada Muni says here is start offering things to Krishna. Right? So everything that we have needs to be offered to Krishna. Actually, it belongs to Krishna. Prabhupada used to that way give an example of a child is trying to gift something to the father. The father very well knows, saying that it is the child actually has taken money from the father and it is trying to gift back something to the father in return. But the father accepts this as a love. This is the love, this is how the child actually reciprocates with the father. And the father accepts it. Similarly, whatever we have is also really Krishna's property. The body that we have is given to us by Krishna. We didn't actually create it to claim ownership of it. The intelligence is given to us by Krishna. The beauty that we have is given to us by Krishna. Knowledge that we have is given to us. Family is given to us. Property that we have is given to us. And we cannot take anything from us when we leave this planet. Right? Everything rests behind. Everything is left behind when we are actually leaving this body. So Prabhupada actually says, how can you claim saying that it's your property? If something is yours, then you should be able to take it, right? You should be able to, it should be with you always. So if you're not able to take this, then it is not yours. It is actually Krishna's. So that's why Prabhupada used to actually say that, what do you call the communists are in one way right, because in communist government they say that everything belongs to government and everything actually belongs to the state. That's what they say. But Prabhupada used made a slight change in that, and he said everything belongs to Krishna, right? So everything actually belongs to Krishna, and Krishna actually provides everything to us. That's the fact. We cannot deny. So a grihastha knows very well, saying that not these days family people, these days family people are not really a grihastha. They are more of two animals came together for personal enjoyment. That's a kind of life that they are leading it. But a real grihastha means they know, saying that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Krishna is the owner of all that I have, and I also belong to Krishna, and we are all here to serve Krishna. So a grihastha means they actually are in this mood of trying to serve Krishna, right? So that happens by offering the results that we have got to Krishna. So which means that anything that we bring in home, it may be money or any new things or anything that is actually brought, it is offered first to Krishna and then accepted it as prasadam of the Lord. So that is the first thing. Anything that we have, bring it to Krishna and give some portion of it to Krishna. Use it for Krishna's service. Cook and offer it to Krishna. So that's how everything that is there in the home is actually brought and made to offer to Krishna there. That's the first thing that Narada Muni says. And to keep us reminded that actually we belong to Krishna and everything is Krishna's, a grihastha or a family person should associate with great devotees of the Lord. because in that association, we get reminded of what we need to do. A devotee of the Lord, great devotee, doesn't tell us anything new. It is not that like outside world, they actually make new films and then they show. A a grahastha, a devotee's life is not like he has to come here and entertain us with new information. No, it is the same old information which we have forgotten. That's what Prabhupada also said. Prabhupada, when he went to United States, or I think to UK, uh, the reporter actually asked Prabhupada saying, what is it that, why is it that you have come? Right. So Prabhupada said, saying that when you came to India and invaded, you took a lot of things from India, but you forgot to take one thing, and I have come to give that. Right. What is that? Krishna. So you forgot to take Krishna, so I have come to give you that Krishna to you now. So Prabhupada was very particular of giving Krishna to others. So in the same way, a devotee of the Lord is always very particular that people let them take Krishna and let them actually become Krishna conscious. That's the intention of Prabhupada. So in the same way, a devotee of the Lord, they come to remind us of Krishna. That's the only intention. So when we associate with Krishna devotees, the motive is not that I become more wealthier, I become more richer, I become more whatever. The motive is that let me be reminded of Krishna. Let Krishna remain in my mind always. Right? That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to bless whomever he comes, who comes across him. He used to bless them, saying that Krishner Mati Rastu. May Krishna remain in your mati, in your mind always. That's how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to bless. Krishner Mati Rastu. Right? So may you always be remember, may you always remember Krishna. Right? So that's a great blessing that a person actually gets from a devotee of the Lord. So Narada Muni here, he said two things. One is to offer results to Krishna, and other is to actually know about the goal of life from a devotee of the Lord. Goal of life is to actually cross over this material world and uh, enter into the spiritual kingdom. Goal of life is not to actually simply stay here in this material world. That Rishabhadev very beautifully explains in the slokas in the 5th canto. Rishabhadev actually talks about to his own sons. I think Prabhupada quotes in the purport, either in this verse or in the next verse. I think the next verse. Yeah. Yep, Prabhupada quotes it in the middle of the next verse purport, saying, Nayam deho deha bhajam nirloke kashtan kaman arhate vidpujam ye tapo divyam putrakaye na sattvam shudred brahma saukyam tva anantam. Right, so Prabhupada translation is, of all living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form of life should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even to dogs and hawks that eat stool. Right, so whatever life of enjoyment that outside world is proposing to us, that has been given to us for many lifetimes as well, in many different forms of bodies. So there is nothing new about it. It has been, we have gone through all these things in different bodies, and there is nothing new about it, just that the presentation actually changes. Right, I'm quite sure many of you are aged people now, and you have some good experience in this material world. You look at some brochure and some advertisement, and then you think they come and present it as if like, do this, you will get some great feeling, great enjoyment. And then when you go and actually do it, you don't get the same feeling that actually you get from seeing that advertisement. Right, it is completely a different feeling you get it. It's, you understand, saying that they have cheated me. Right, they have sufficiently cheated me by presenting as if like I'll get something some kind of a bliss by doing it. But that's actually not so. They just present it as if like they cheat you basically. They loot our money. The intention of their advertisement is to take money from us. Like they say, okay, buy this 3 BHK, 2 BHK in Bangalore, make your dream house inside the forest with some wood trees, all those things. They actually come and show us, but it's or a car or a bike or whatever it may be. They just try to loot the money from us. That's all, and put a bank loan and keep paying the EMI for next 20 years, 30 years. Your life is doomed and souped, right? So that's how material life is. Everybody is trying to cheat us, and nobody is actually helping us here. Nobody is trying to do any favor for us. Everybody has some intention. I know, like um, in my own office, we actually have uh, what do you call um, a representative from one of the bank, and he used to always come especially in the month of March. He made actually 15-20 visits to my office, and the only purpose of him is to actually somehow get somebody enrolled in the life insurance or whatever policy that he has, somehow get them enrolled. That's all, because he has some yearly target that he wants to achieve. He damn cares about what is the benefit that we get out of it. He somehow wants to take the money from us and then invest in the policy that he suggests. It doesn't really matter whether the policy is actually helping us or not. He gets some whatever, some remuneration out of that by we enrolling to that policy. That's all. That's the motive. And for that, he didn't mind to actually come to my office 20 times, 25 times. He actually came to the office and started eating the time of all the people in the office. So that's how people are. They come, and anything that is being advertised, campaigned, the only intention is to actually, it is not that it is favoring us, it is favoring the other party only. That's a simple logic, right? Nobody actually does any kind of advertisement for something which is basically essential for people. That has never been advertised. Nobody advertises for vegetables, fruits, rice, this, that, chapati. No advertisement for that, because everybody would need that. Everybody will go for it. But advertisement is there to actually make sure something that we do not need, that is pushed to us. Then advertisement would be required, right? So we should never be carried away with those kind of things. It doesn't really serve the real purpose, goal of life. So that's why Rishabhadev is instructing his 100 sons, saying that don't get carried away, right? Material sense gratification is there. It was available in all different lives, but now in this human form of life, you make it available for Krishna's service, right? This is that life which gives us opportunity to go towards Krishna, right? So Narada Muni continues with his instruction in text 3. He says, a grahastha must associate again and again with saintly persons, right? It says again and again, right? So why? Because it is very natural that we take association and we take inspiration in that association, and eventually, because a grahastha's life itself is like that they may get uh, slowly demotivated, and they may lose track. That's how grahastha's life will be. That's why Bhagavatam also calls the grahastha life, means it's grihamanda kupam. It is a deep dark well where very easily a person can lose sight of the goal of life. So that's why they need to actually take association of devotees again and again, saintly persons. A saintly person's duty is to remind the grahasthas to uh, glorify Krishna, chant Hare Krishna, and become Krishna conscious. That's the whole intention of a saintly person. right? They don't have any other business apart from doing that. It's a anyway, Prabhupada used to say this story of uh, a saint, a sadhu, was on the beach side, and he saw that a scorpion had fallen into the water, and the saint took pity on the scorpion. He lifted the scorpion with his hand just to rescue it and put it back into the land. But as soon as he lifted the scorpion from water, the scorpion stung him. And as soon as the scorpion stung him, he had pain, he dropped off the scorpion back, and it again fell into the water. And again, the saintly person took the scorpion, and again it stung him, and again he had to drop it. And again he took pity and took that scorpion. Again it stung that. So another person was actually seeing the whole episode, and he came to the sadhu and he asked the sadhu, uh, the scorpion is stinging you and it is injecting poison, and so why are you taking the scorpion again and again from water? But the sadhu said the nature of the scorpion is to sting whomever that scorpion comes across, but the nature of a sadhu is to show compassion, right? So sadhu's nature is like that. A sadhu means they actually come and show compassion to a grahastha who is what do you call it, who has the tendency, or who generally uh, go deviant from the real goal of life. They come to show compassion, and they help the grahastha and then put them back on track so that they will be able to serve Krishna very nicely. So that's the nature of a sadhu, and a grahastha should also be willing to take such association. Right? They should be willing. A grahastha should willingly take association. They should show interest, and then the sadhu's help actually becomes more influenced in our life. Right? If we don't show willingness, the helper will not also actually have a great heart to help. It's a mutual relationship, that a grahastha actually takes help of a sadhu, and the sadhu actually comes to help. The sadhu is always willing to help, because a sadhu's life is dedicated to help people. That's why even Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or uh, also or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they took the renounced order of life only for the sake of helping. So although in Kali Yuga, sannyasa is prohibited, out of 4 things that is prohibited, sannyas is also one of it. And sannyas is actually prohibited. Karma sannyas is prohibited in Kali Yuga. But still, our acharyas have laid the path where devotees, they take sannyas, ashrama, for the sake of preaching to common people, preaching to the grahasthas. For that sake, they actually take sannyas. So it is meant for preaching. So a saintly person's duty is to actually preach Krishna consciousness, right? So a grahastha, it is said, they must associate with them again and again and take what they should do. That also Narada Muni says here. A grahastha must associate again and again with saintly persons, and with great respect he must hear the nectar of activities of the Supreme Lord and his incarnation, as these activities described in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. So as these activities are described in the scriptures, a grahastha has to go and hear the nectar, right? So the only thing that a grahastha should give in the association of saintly person is to give his ears. Simply by giving his ears, a person actually makes progress. So even in our own Krishna conscious movement, the main thing that we need to give our ears. Even whatever it may be, like the chanting that we are doing, that we are doing is effective when we hear the mantra. So there also we need to give our ears, right? We need to hear the mantra very properly. Every word of the mantra, Hare Krishna and Hare Rama. So this mantra, we need to hear it properly. There is no need to actually hurry and attempt to finish the mantra, finish the rounds. That doesn't actually make effect of it. The real effect actually we can feel when we start giving time and hearing the mantra. Our duty is to actually chant the mantra nicely and hear the mantra. So when we hear the mantra and when we chant the mantra properly, that hearing, that mantra enters the heart and it actually does the cleansing process in our heart. So we should give the opportunity for the mantra to actually enter our ears and make some influence in our heart. If we don't even hear, then it is a useless vibration of the tongue. We simply vibrate of the tongue and then we don't give our ears at all to the mantra, and mantra doesn't go in our ears, right? So real effect of association also happens when we give our ears in association. In association, we should be eager to hear more than eager to speak. The tendency is that we all want to speak, right? We all actually have something to say in association. When two people come together, they want to actually say, they speak something about ourselves and make sure the other person actually feels that I am good. That's how we want to present things. We never go and say to another person saying that what bad I thought about another person. We never go and share that. We only go and share to other person saying how great I am, how good I am. Why should other person always feel that I am good? We only go and present things in that way. In that way, I am never wrong, and I am always correct. And whatever happened, I'm wrong happened. I'm not responsible for it. That's how we always present ourselves, right? We always are interested to talk and hear our glorification. But real association means to actually hear, give our ears first. So in the association of saintly people, the expected thing that we need to do is to give our ears, right? In spiritual life, the only thing that we need to actually surrender first is our ears. So we need to surrender our ear first in hearing the Maha Mantra, and we need to surrender our ears to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Simply by hearing this Maha Mantra, simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we can go back home, back to Godhead. That's the process that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. Simply by hearing. These 2 years are the way for us to go back home, back to Godhead. If we give this 2 years to Krishna, then everything else actually will follow. So giving our ears to Krishna is what Narada Muni says here, that a grihastha should give their ears first for hearing the nectarian pastimes and activities of the Supreme Lord as described in the Puranas and Srimad Bhagavatam. Not something which is cooked up, not something that it is whatever that speaker actually speaks, it's very pleasing to hear. No, it is not. The criteria is not the something is pleasing me, so I will hear it. No, the criteria is that what is given in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, that we should actually hear. Right? Whether it is presented in a pleasant way or an unpleasant way, that message is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, then we will go and hear that. That hearing is more important here, right? So first thing is associate again and again with saintly people and must hear the nectar of activities of the Supreme Lord. And then he says, thus one should gradually become detached from the affection of his wife and children, exactly like a man awakening from a dream. Right? Prabhupada says, exactly like a man awakening from a dream. So in dream, a person may actually think that he was such and such. But when he wakes up, he understands that that is not reality. reality is something different. In the same way, Bhagavatam says that in dream, right now, we are thinking that I am a part of such and such family, I am son of such and such, I am daughter of such and such, I am wife of such and such, and husband of such and such. These are my children, these are my parents, this is my family. That's what a person thinks in dream. That's actually dream, Bhagavatam calls. So when a person actually starts hearing more and more from a saintly person, then he comes to an understanding reality, Divya Jnana Hridaya Prakashito, right? That real Divya Gyan is revealed in the heart. What is the Divya Gyan? Saying that this life, whatever I am leading, is a temporary life. People whom I am together with now, they are all actually there with me for some time. That's all. As Bhagavatam also says, how two straws in a river stream come together at some time and then they will actually depart. So in the same way, people, they come together and they have some exchanges within them, bitter and sweet exchanges, and after some time they depart and go. So whomever we claim ourselves, our husband, our wife, my children, they are all actually are temporary associations, and real association is only with Krishna. But a person, he forgets that and he thinks, saying that this is my real life, right? He thinks more about, like Prabhupada used to say, Prabhupada in one of the lecture, he also used to say that there are so many children in this planet, but why is it that we are actually showing our love only to one child? He raised this question, right? Just because the reason that the child actually was given birth through our body, but actually this child belongs to Krishna. Every child actually belongs to Krishna. We should actually help them to show direction that they go to Krishna. That's the duty of the parents. The parents' duty is to actually direct the child to go to Krishna. If somehow the child actually becomes a devotee of Krishna, then that's the success of a parent's life, that they have given proper direction to them. Right? Prabhupada used to recollect his father, whenever Prabhupada's father, whenever some sadhu actually comes to their home, Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan De, he used to actually ask all the sadhu to bless his son so that he will become a devotee of Srimati Radharani. And he used to seek this blessing on the child always, that they actually become a devotee of Krishna. They become a devotee, a great follower of Srila Prabhupada, great follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and preach this whole movement, preach this glorious message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's how parents actually should aspire for, right? Not that they should actually aspire that their child become an engineer, doctor. For living, somehow or the other, the child will make through some way. But becoming a devotee or not, that is actually a bigger concern for the parents. They should actually be more concerned on that, in fact, right? So that awakening should happen, that whatever relationships that we have, it's only temporary, that is only for this life, and we shouldn't get so much engrossed into that. Each of them in my family are all spirit souls, and they have their own baggage of suffering that they are carrying, and each of them will undergo that suffering and enjoyment in this life, and they will actually go through that, get along with that, and end of the day they should all become devotees of Krishna. That should be the intention of every person who is leading a family life. That's why Narada Muni calls this as an ideal family life. Right? We will go forward. Let's see what Narada Muni says more. Reading the next verse. While working to earn his livelihood as much as necessary to maintain the body and soul together, one who is actually learned should live in human society unattached to family affairs, although externally appearing very much attached. Right? This is a beautiful instruction. that Narada Muni is actually giving, how we need to lead a family life where externally we should remain as if we are attached, but internally we should be attached to Krishna, right? So this is not a false life that a devotee is leading. False means a duplicitous life. You show something else and show something different, be something different. Not like the marketing person, what they do, not like that kind of. Externally, they are attached to Krishna means knowing very well, saying that this bondage will not last long. This bondage is temporary. By Krishna's arrangement, somehow we two people have come together. We are living in a family. Somehow externally, this has been arranged by Krishna. And let me go through this. Whatever Krishna has arranged for me, let me go through it. But internally, a devotee very well knows, saying that my husband, my wife, they both are actually Krishna's devotees. They are spirit soul, they are part and parcel of Krishna. And their real attachment should be with Krishna. Right? In fact, that's why Prabhupada used to say, that always say that ideal family life means a husband is a staunch devotee of Krishna and wife follows the husband in that aspect. Husband follows the guru, the wife follows the husband. So in this way, both of them actually become a devotee of Krishna. Right? Both of them should become a devotee of Krishna, and then the whole rest of the family also follows them. Right? So externally, there is some kind of a relationship within the family, but internally, every family member should have an attachment with Krishna. That's the life that a person needs to live in this material world. Prabhupada used to say this story in the introduction of Srimad Bhagvatam, where a, uh, a, a wife, she faithfully actually serves her husband in the home. And she serves him so much nicely that the husband never doubts on her. But internally, the wife has a lover whom she always meditates on him. She always actually longs to live in company of that person. But externally, she lives in this family and serves in that family so nicely so that nobody in that family doubts on her. But internally, she actually aspires a different life altogether. So in the same way, externally, we all actually work here as a husband, as a wife, or as a parent, as a child. We serve the family members as necessary. But internally, we are all actually trying to develop love for Krishna. That's how it needs to be. Internally, we understand, saying that each of us are individual spirit souls, and we are all actually are part and parcel of Krishna. My attachment to my husband or wife is through Krishna, right? I am a devotee of Krishna. My husband is also a devotee of Krishna. That's how we both are related. That's how we should see our family members as. We should see our family members as each of them in my family are part and parcel of Krishna. I am also part and parcel of Krishna. They are also part and parcel of Krishna. And that's how we are all related in actuality. In this life, somehow we are staying within the same home, but next life, know not where each of us will go. It's up to Krishna. Right? So that is a family member is conscious of, and he gains this knowledge or understanding or realization or revelation by the association with saintly peoples. So that's why a grahastha should associate here in that association and come to this right understanding. Right? The next verse is even more beautiful. I think we will end with this verse. How we need to live in that family. In that family, how a person should intelligently make his living. Right? That Narada Muni talks about here to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He says, an intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. Right? First thing Narada Muni says is, first, an intelligent man, he will make his living very simple. The more simple a person's life is, the more less complex a person's life will be. The more complex we make our life, the more complicated it actually goes. So as much as possible, keep it simple. That's what Narada Muni says here, right? If there is any suggestions from his friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying, yes, that's all right. Externally, he says, agree with them, right? If you don't agree, what they will do is they will actually try to impose their understanding, their conviction upon us. So externally say, yes, 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 I will do as you say. Right? That's how an intelligent person thinks. Just he simply avoids all problems. He simply dodges all problems. He say, yes, 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 I will do what you say. Right? And then, but internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. Right? Internally, he should make sure, saying that his life is made simple, is not being made complicated. Right? I'll read this amazing translation again so that we can remember this always in our life, put this in our life, and this is one life which can actually help us, each of us, make our life simple instead of getting complicated. I'll read the translation again. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from his friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying, yes, that is all right. But internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. So the purpose of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. Become a Krishna's devotee. That's the purpose of life. So if that purpose is getting lost, what is the use of doing something which may be so nice, so pleasing, but if the purpose is lost, what is the use? Right? Just like Prabhupada used to say that you buy a nice, expensive Benz car, but say you don't make it to the destination, what is the use of it? There's no use. You are buying a Benz car so that you will reach the destination more conveniently. That's all. But if you're worried more about convenience and you don't reach the destination, what is the use of that? There's no use of that. Right? So it makes more sense that we keep our end goal as a priority item of life. Our end goal is that end of our life, I should become a devotee of Krishna who always remembers Krishna in his thought. Right? So that's the real purpose, that we should always be able to remember Krishna in our life. If we are forgetting Krishna in our life, then what is the use of all these things? So a devotee of the Lord understands very well, saying that the purpose is to always be remembering Krishna. Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavyam na jatu chit. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That's the real purpose here. So if that purpose is defeated, then what is the use of doing so many nice things when the real purpose is lost? So a devotee knows very well, saying that this is my real purpose of my existence, and he acts in such a way so that he doesn't get distracted from it, and he doesn't want to involve in unnecessary conflict with others also, and for that reason he agrees to whatever others says. Yes, 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 I will do it that way. Whatever way you are suggesting, I'll do it that way. So that they also becomes pacified. They also get a feel, saying that this person has taken my advice, and they become pacified. But end of the day, we should do what we need to do to make sure we succeed in our living, right? So that's how every person should act. So that's the way that Bhagavatam is suggesting us, Narada Muni is suggesting us to live in this material world. Live in this material world in such a way so that you don't complicate your life so much, but we become a devotee of Krishna, end of the day. So that's the purpose of Bhagavatam, to always remind us about Krishna, to always become a devotee of Krishna, to always chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, give our ears to the Mahamantra, hear the Mahamantra properly, read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and associate with devotees so that we get reminded always about this purpose of our life. Right? So I will stop here. If any devotee wishes to share anything, anybody would have any questions. So Premadatta Prabhu, they will be able to unmute themselves, right?
Yes, Prabhu, they will be able to.
Great. So if anybody have any comments, questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mati.
Prabhuji, it was a wonderful session, especially for Grihastha like us. We always get confused what to do and how to take our life in which direction and how to live this life. We can't leave our job and other things also. And on the same way, we don't want to leave Krishna Bhakti, and our ultimate goal is to reach Krishna. So this session was so wonderful and benefited so much to us that it gave us a good clarity of how a grihastha can live our life. We don't have to leave and everything, and we just can stay here very simply and follow these instructions which you gave today. And thank you very much, Prabhuji. But I have a small doubt.
I just have one comment, Mataji. The beauty of it is, like, even if you hear such a lecture every day, still your life will be confusing.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Because that's how Grahastha life is. Go ahead, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, that is there, but I really felt very good hearing to your lecture. It was really very good and very connecting to us, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you.
I have one small doubt, which you said that you explained that husband should follow guru, and wife should follow husband, right? So when we are following husband and when we are serving our husband, automatically there is an attachment which is created. So one side we are trying to detach ourselves, and other side when we are always serving, so why this wife instruction is given to wife that we should follow husband? Why not only Krishna? It's not that we don't want to serve husband, but there is a confusion, because when we are always thinking of what husband needs, so always that is in mind that we are serving him, and naturally there is more attachment with husband. So what is your Prabhuji suggestion for this? What should we
Yes.
do?
So that's actually a very difficult instruction to follow, especially in Kali Yuga, primarily because husbands don't follow guru properly. That's the primary reason, right? So husbands needs to actually set a good example within the family and as a good follower or as a good devotee of Krishna. So when that is set as a good example, then wife will naturally follow the husband. It is not unnaturally. Wife will naturally follow the husband if the husband is a good devotee of Krishna. That's what Prabhupada said. So Prabhupada said, saying that husband should follow guru, become a good devotee, then wife will automatically follow the husband. Right? So that's first point. And second point, that there is nothing wrong having a mild attachment between husband and wife. There's nothing wrong having that attachment. That attachment will be there, and attachment needs to be there to actually live in cooperation with each other. There's nothing wrong about it. So attachment within family can be there. It is approved. That's why this ashrama, Grihastha ashrama, is created, with some kind of a liberty for sense gratification. They can have their union, they can have children. So all these things are actually allowed within grahastha ashrama. But our varnashrama system also expects, saying that after some age, automatically detachment will also appear. Knowing well, saying that these things are temporary, that detachment will also come by the course of life. It will appear. Just like a person who likes sweet and he eats sweet. So after eating for some time, then automatically he will find the sweet to be distasteful. For example, I was a person who was so addicted to eating sweet, and ISKCON you get so many varieties of sweets. Like there is no crunch of sweets, and I used to eat a lot of sweets. But then when I got to know about the ill effect of eating so much of sweets to my health, I started developing distaste for it automatically. So automatically that detachment will also appear. That's the nature. Life will somehow teach lessons to everyone. Even Premadatta Prabhu is a great lover of sweets. I don't know if still he is, but
I had not developed the distaste, Prabhu, yet.
Right. So that will automatically happen for sure. To any person, like for whatever reason it may be, whether we don't like it for health reasons, as we grow old, we need to stop doing that. Right, Prabhu? I believe you also stopped to great
I'm still
extent.
struggling.
Right. So that's how it is, that you like it or don't like it, we have to actually reduce it, stop it at some point of time. So that will, in course of it, it will happen for sure. So we don't have to artificially detach, but all that our acharyas are encouraging is to increase our attachment for Krishna. When we increase our attachment for Krishna, when we hear more from devotees, then automatically other things will follow. So that's why grahasthas, they are asked to hear more from saintly people, hear more from devotees of the Lord, so that whatever attachment we have for our family in a false conception, right? Real attachment is saying that my wife is a devotee of Krishna. My husband is a devotee of Krishna. My children are devotees of Krishna. So I will love them. All of them are devotees of Krishna. So I have strong love for them. That love is spiritual, because we are keeping Krishna in the center of the attachment. So that is very much encouraged, not just in our own family, but even the extended family also. Right? We can even love Premadatta Prabhu. We can love all of them, all the devotees of the Lord. I have strong love for them. That love is not it is not separate from Krishna. So when we bring in Krishna, then that love becomes really spiritualized. In fact, that is real love. By bringing Krishna in, that kind of love, we don't have to relinquish. We don't have to give it up. That love is necessary. We are not trying to become desireless or without any kind of an attachment or without any kind of love. No, love or attachment is the propensity of the spirit soul. We are all love seekers by nature. So we don't have to really stop loving, but we need to stop loving the body, right? And we need to understand, saying that the lovable object within this body is the spirit soul. I am loving my wife because she is a spirit soul, and we don't actually love the body, a dead body. We don't love. We take it for burying it or burning it as soon as the person leaves the body. So that's not the love we are putting it. The love we are putting it is the person who is inside this body, the spirit soul, who is a devotee of Krishna. So the lovable object is actually the spirit soul in that body, not the body. I love my husband because he is a spirit soul, he is a devotee of Krishna. I love my wife because she is also a spirit soul. She is now living in this body, and she is also a devotee of Krishna. So if our love is actually placed in the real sense, that need not have to be removed, ripped off. That's a true love, keeping Krishna in the center. That is allowed. That's not, nobody is actually asking to not to have attachment, not to have love. But the love has to be placed in the right perspective. That's all. So Krishna consciousness doesn't really mean that you have to turn 180-degree. No. Krishna consciousness only means that we have to add Krishna in our life. Everything that we are doing, we have to add Krishna in it. Not separated from the Lord, but along with the Lord. That's how we need to do it. Right? Hope it helped, Sangeeta Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, definitely. So I was a little confused, but that's really helps me. So I understood that, why there is no harm in, getting attached, but we should keep Krishna as the center. And then
Yes.
naturally the detachment will come, and that is the right way.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, true.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody else have anything to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So there's, I have one more question, just extension of what Sangeeta Mataji was asking. That sometimes, of course, a wife is following husband, and husband is taking care of wife, but that is a very ideal case in the sense both of them are same spiritual level, in the sense both of them are spiritually keen to make the same progress. But many times it happens is that a spouse is maybe husband or wife, they may not be at the same spiritual level, in the sense many times it happens, most of the time I would say, that Matajis, they take up very naturally bhakti, but Prabhus are, they want to do more, they earn for, even if they are spiritually want to take up, but then still they have, okay, let me come to certain level, let me have this much money, this many house, this thing, and that I am that, and context will be told is that, okay, this is for my family, because I have to take care of them, and it's my duty. So how to, like, how that spouse should take care of this, because both of them may not be at the spiritual level, although they may be at the on the path of spirituality, but maybe at different levels. Then that case, how the balance can be made.
Yeah, that instruction can be really put into practice when proper training has been given from childhood. When the boy, he learns it from his spiritual master for the first 25 years of his age, and he understands the real purpose of life is to actually serve the spiritual master, which is not different from serving Krishna. So he understands the real purpose of that, and the girl is also trained well by the parents at home to become to be chaste and obedient at home. So that's a training that happens from childhood. But these days, neither of them get the training, nor do the boys get the training to at the Gurukul, nor do the girls get the proper training at home. So we cannot expect that, honestly, in family life today. It is what do you call, like, it is morally impractical to actually see such kind of a family today. Let's accept the truth that it is doesn't happen in most of the homes, and that's how it will be in Kali Yuga. So it matters more if both of them could actually somehow stick on, stay together, because in Vedic culture there is no question of separation as it is been happening mostly. At least if they could stick on, fight nicely, and somehow stay together and serve the Lord, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, read Bhagavatam in their home, that's actually a big success, right? If they could hang on, just like they say, right? Hang on. Somehow stick together and somehow stay together and push on, staying together, helping each other, fight nicely, but still come to a Krishna conscious conclusions. of both of them showing interest to serve Krishna, Guru, if somehow they actually keep that and go on till their life, then that's actually a big achievement in Grihastha life somehow, right? So they just need to carry on those many things that are given in scriptures. It is quite hard to put that in real life these days. We have gone quite far. We didn't get the right education at the right time, unfortunately, and we cannot make a very dramatic change right now. So somehow we need to encourage them to stick over, but chant Hare Krishna, read Srimad Bhagavatam, carry on. Somehow as much as possible, add Krishna in your life, then Krishna will somehow bless them, show their mercy upon them. So with that expectation, we just need to go forward. So that would be the only option. That's what many of us are doing. You and me are also trying that, I believe.
Yes.
Right. So neither are we a good ideal devotee, nor are our wives a very chaste and very humble person. We cannot expect that these days. Neither. It's both of them are not ideal, as we read it this chapter. But we should take inspiration from it, and whatever is possible, put that in practice. Chant Hare Krishna so that Krishna fills up the rest of the gaps. So from our side, we will try what is possible and then expect the mercy of the Lord for rest of it to happen. Right?
Yes, so sometimes what happens, I've like, we are into little preaching, and sometimes I see the husbands or wives, they start nagging about it to their spouses, whatever husband or wife, and oh, you are not doing this, you are not doing that, and that creates a lot of more friction. So that's why I asked this question, because when a question comes to me, I always struggle, because it's a very difficult. But you made a very nice point that both of them should understand. And I think one point we should avoid is nagging about other person's spiritual progress or those things. I think that is one mistake many spouses they do is, when other spouses, husband or wife, whatever, but if it's going little low, that they start nagging, oh, you're like that, and you don't do that. And I'm anyway going ahead.
Yeah, in Krishna consciousness,
Some,
it is always very important that we give opportunities for others, because everybody is changing. You are changing, your wife is changing, your kids are changing, your parents are changing, everybody is changing, and Krishna consciousness is influencing everybody for sure, and Krishna is revealing things for them. So we should never actually become prejudiced in our thoughts about other person. We should not let the past influence us in making today's decisions as much as possible. We should actually take decision based on how it is present. So that actually helps a lot. In fact, how it is today, let me deal with that today. Why should I bring in the past and make it more complex? Right? Let me deal it how it is today. So if my wife or husband is like this today, let me deal with that today. Right? We should not actually think about, oh, my husband did that, my wife did this 10 years before, this happened, that happened, and now also he has not changed much. So why should we actually bring in the past? Let's try to forget the past from our mind and put Krishna more in our mind and live it in the present. So however he is, however she is today, let me live with that, her, as they are today, and accept and tolerate them, take it forward, chant Hare Krishna. That's all we can do.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you so much for wonderfully explained. And I think I will just second what Sangeeta Mataji told, was that I think good identity topic, because you chose a very, very interesting and very relevant topic for today. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you.
Every topic in Bhagavatam is relevant.
But this one we always struggle.
Yeah, and we'll continue to struggle.
Anybody has any other question? Quickly, maybe last question is already 5:50. Okay. So no other question, then I think we'll close the session. So Prabhu, thank you so much. From deep of my heart, I just want to express my gratitude for giving a wonderful association today. And as I said, this topic was very, very interesting, and I think we need to hear again and again. And as you said, we should keep hearing, although we know this, and many things we know, to be honest. But as you said, the continuous hearing will help us to make progress on spiritual path. So thank you so much, Prabhu. On behalf of whole Radha Govindji Circle, I thank you so much for coming and giving a wonderful association. And I look forward to more and more association from you for all of us, Prabhu.
Jai Ho, Hari Bol.
Thank you so much. And thanks everybody for joining. Hare Krishna.
Yep. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, thank you so
Dandavat
much.
pranam.
Thank you.
Pranam, Prabhuji.
Pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu.